so often I feel like tourism can be such a tool of colonialism. It can be another way that Western countries and European countries sort of exert their influence over the rest of the world. I mean, like when actually probably shouldn't talk about any particular country doing that, but I've definitely seen Westerners doing that in Asia, especially. And it's not intentional.
Doing what? Sorry, I missed it.
Sort of playing out this sort of colonial role, where they expect that they are that they will come into a place at a certain level, and that they will that their culture will be accommodated and their needs, and that they won't have to make any effort to learn about the other cultures or to experience them or to really understand the country and understand the culture. They come in, they go to a 5-star hotel, they sit on the beach, they have people waiting on them, local people waiting on them, and they just they're on holiday, and they don't think about not just environmental impact, because you're talking about sustainable development, but also about social impact and how this is just another colonial narrative. And it's really interesting to me to hear of an example where people come into a formerly colonized country and rejuvenate the country's sort of pride in their own culture. I think that's really amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. I'm also amazed actually by tourist travelers who, like make an effort to really get to know local culture, whether it's learning some basic phrases or the names of the dishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that some Westerners who travel, especially Americans and Canadians, at least lately, can sometimes be really worried about cultural appropriation. I don't know if you've heard of cultural appropriation, but it's basically this idea that if you're white, if you're Western, then you shouldn't like wear traditional clothing of another culture, or that you shouldn't usually it's clothing, sometimes like do hair in the style of another culture, or basically that you shouldn't participate in any part of the culture apart from like food and maybe language, or language and maybe food. And in some cases it's very appropriate, but it's really mostly appropriate to the American context, and it originated from Native Americans and African Americans saying basically like these are parts of our culture and our religion, or things that we don't want you to just steal. Like we don't. So, for example, African Americans often wear their hair in locks or in braids, and in many situations, like work situations, their jobs don't let them do that because the hairstyle is considered unprofessional, even though that's how their hair naturally grows. And but when white people do it, when white people have dreadlocks or braids, no one says anything about it. And so a lot of African Americans feel that that's unfair, and so they don't want white Americans doing that kind of thing.
For full episodes, go to solopacker.com.